Jai Hind children. In today's class, we will discuss the extract based questions of the same chapter Merchant of Venice, and this will be very much helpful for you in your examinations. Of course, in our previous classes, whatever we had discussed, of course, that is also helpful, the question answers, but those question answers were your short answers, but then also in your examination, if MCQ type questions are coming, those short answers will also be there in the form of MCQ. Okay. So both the questions are important. Don't think that this extract based is only your important questions, and this will only be there in the examination. Both the questions you have to go through, and this is the reason that I am giving the question answers in detail in the class. I know the question answers are as tough as your chapter. Let's start the extract based questions. There are three questions, no? So far as I know. Yes, three are there. Reference to the contest. Read the extracts given below and answer the questions that follow. So this is the extract of the chapter Merchant of Venice. To these injunctions, everyone that swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self. To these injunctions, children, do you remember? Yes, where were these lines? Who is the speaker? Who has said? Okay, to whom the speaker is addressing? To these injunctions, everyone doth swear. Injunctions means conditions. Doth means does. Everyone has to follow these, means has to take oath of these conditions. That comes to hazard. Who is coming to take risk for myself, for my worthless self. Worthless self means Portia is the speaker, and she is becoming somewhat humble and telling herself that I am worthless. But then also everyone is coming to hazard. Everyone is coming to take risk for me. Now let's see the question. Who is the speaker and to whom are the above words addressed? This is question number A. Question number B is describe the situation in which these words are said. First of all, who is the speaker and to whom are the above words addressed? So, to these injunctions, everyone that swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self. Who is the speaker? Portia speaks the above words. Okay? And the above words are addressed to the Prince of Aragon. To whom are the above words addressed? Addresses the Prince of Aragon. It means that Portia is speaking and is speaking to Prince of Aragon. These lines to these injunctions, who is speaking? Portia. To whom she is saying? To whom she is addressing? She is saying, she is addressing to Prince of Aragon. Okay. So these words are addressed to the Prince of Aragon. Describe the situation in which these words are said. What were the situations at that time? What were the conditions? Now see, the answer is the Prince of Aragon mentioned the three conditions he was required to observe to be able to choose the casket. In response, Portia told him that every suitor who came to win her hand had to swear to abide by the conditions. Here, condition is different. Okay, here condition means those three oaths. So, this is the situation. Okay, when these words were said, these words, okay, these words means these words, to these injunctions that comes to hazard, these words. When these words were said, so what was the situation? So this was the situation that Prince of Aragon, he has mentioned the three conditions he was required to observe. The Prince of Aragon is standing in front of the Portia, and Prince of Aragon is telling, he is just explaining all the three conditions which he was required to observe to be able to choose the casket. Means that was a lottery system was devised by Portia's father. Okay, whosoever will come to marry Portia has to take oath, and these were the three conditions of which any suitor who is coming to win hand of Portia has to take the oath. So these three conditions Prince of Aragon is mentioning. Okay, when he has mentioned these three conditions, so in this situation Portia says these words. In response, Portia told him that every suitor who came to win her hand had to swear to abide by the condition. So when Prince of Aragon is mentioning the three conditions, at that time Portia is giving reply that yes, every suitor who is coming to win my hand, he has to swear to abide by the condition. So this here condition means has to abide by the uh, those three oaths. Okay, so this was the situation in which these words were said. Portia is standing, Prince of Aragon is standing. Prince of Aragon has explained the three conditions, and now Portia is replying that yes, every suitor who came to win my hand, who came to win her hand, had to swear to abide by the condition. Question number C and D. Two more questions are there related to the same line, related to this line, to these injunctions, everyone that swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self. The same line is there, and related to this line, question number C is there and D is also there. What is question number C? What does the word injunctions mean? What are the three injunctions all suitors must agree to? So you have to first of all give the meaning of this word injunctions. So the word injunctions means conditions. Okay, conditions. Those three oaths, वो तीन शर्त. Here injunctions means conditions. So what is the meaning of the injunctions? The meaning of the injunctions is conditions. Imposed usually to restrain someone from doing something. So this is that condition which is imposed to restrain someone. Means if anyone is presenting in front of you that these are the three conditions which you have to abide by, means he is just representing in front of you three oaths, and those three oaths you have to follow in whatever condition you are. In the same way as in your school, you are also abided by the rules of the school. Okay, in your school you have to come in your school uniform. So this is the first one condition. Second one condition, you have to be in discipline. You have to follow those disciplinary rules which are in your school. In the same way, the third condition is you have to obey and just read whatever your teacher is giving you. So in your school also you are restrained from doing any other thing, because you have to you are just bound by those injunctions. Okay, this was just an example. I have given you the example of the school to tell you that what are injunctions. So it means conditions imposed usually. Imposed means किसी के ऊपर थोपा गया, डाला गया. Imposed usually to restrain someone, and it is restraining you. It is just it is just it will not give you the permission, okay, from doing something, because it is just like a hindrance. These conditions are just like a hindrance. Now, the second question was, what are the three injunctions all suitors must agree to? So, these three conditions are, all suitors must agree not to unfold to anyone. This you know, all the three conditions. Okay. The first condition, not to unfold to anyone which casket they choose. Unfold means not to reveal to any other person which casket I have chosen. Never to woo a maiden in way of marriage. This is the second condition, that if they failed, if any suitor who is coming to try the luck, if he is failing in selecting the correct casket, he will never propose any other lady in his whole life. He can never propose any other maiden in way of marriage. Third condition is to leave immediately under the condition. And this is the third condition, that the suitor or that person has to leave the place immediately without speaking or without expressing his regret. Okay. So, these are the three conditions. So, what are the three injunctions? Means what are the three conditions? So, these are the three conditions. Question number question number D, what is meant by the word hazard? Hazard means risk. How is this relevant in this particular situation? Portia uses the word to mean that every suitor who comes to win her hand must take the risk of choosing the casket, in which, if they failed, they would have to return without delay. So, how is this relevant in this particular situation? This is relevant because Portia is saying that every suitor who is coming to win her hand must take the risk of choosing the casket. If anyone who has thought that, okay, I want to, he is very much serious and he has thought of Portia that yes, I will marry Portia, so he has to take the risk of choosing the casket. But if the person fails, okay, in which if they failed, they would have to return without delay and they have to remain bachelor in their whole life. This answer you can also include here. Not only they have to return, but they have to remain, be in that bachelor condition only. Okay. So, this is relevant in this particular situation, that everyone has to take the risk. Hazard means risk. Injunctions means conditions and hazard means risk. Okay. So, these were the four questions related to this these two lines. Okay. Now, let's proceed. We have done A, B, C and D. Now again, second extract is there. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. Why then to thee the silver treasure house? Tell me once more what title thou dost bear. This is your second extract, and this extract means these 5, these 5 lines have also been taken from the same chapter, Merchant of Venice. Now tell me, do you remember who is the speaker of these lines and to whom the speaker is speaking? In what condition the speaker is speaking? Do you remember these all things? See the question. Who is the speaker? What is he not inclined to choose? Second question. Why does he decide not to jump with common spirits? Let's start from question number A. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits, up to dust bear. So, who is the speaker? The speaker is the Prince of Aragon. And what he is not inclined? He is not inclined to choose the golden casket. As soon as Prince of Aragon sees the golden casket, so he speaks that I will not choose what many men desire, because it was written there, it was inscribed there on the golden casket. Whosoever will choose me will gain what many men desire. It was written there. So he is just expressing his, that is the reaction of Prince of Aragon, and he is saying, no, I will not choose what many men desire. So the speaker is Prince of Aragon. He is not inclined to choose the golden casket. Why does he decide not to jump with the common spirits? He decides not to jump with the common spirits because, according to Prince, okay, the foolish multitude who choose by outward show and fail to see what lies within. Common spirits are the foolish multitudes. What the prince is thinking? That these common people, because he has arrogance feeling, no, he is thinking that I am very brilliant and I can never select the incorrect thing, and that's why he is talking in this way, that common spirits means common men, common people, they are the foolish multitude, because they choose only by outward show and fail to see what lies within. Thus, they are likely to make unwise and wrong choices. And according to Prince of Aragon, the people, those who choose only by outward appearance, they are foolish because they fail to see what lies within. He has also given the example of a bird martlet who builds its nest on the outward wall. So Prince of Aragon has decided not to jump with common spirits, means I will not do just like the common men. They are foolish, so I am not going to behave just like the foolish people, and I will not choose only by the outward appearance, because golden casket is beautiful, and the lines are also written that whosoever will choose this will get what many men desire. So after reading this line, he thought that many men means many fool. So these foolish people, oh no, I am not foolish. So he has taken the thing in this way, that these common spirits, I will not go with these common spirits. So the prince too decides not to choose like them, judging by external appearance alone. So the Prince of Aragon decides that no, I will not choose like the common spirit people, judging by external appearance, judging by outward appearance only. I am not going to choose just like common people choose. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits, means common men, common people, and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. And I am not going to stand with those foolish people. Okay. Now see the second question. Why does he decide not to jump? Okay, this I have given you. Question number C. What title does the silver casket bear? What response does it evoke from the speaker? The title silver casket bears the inscription that one who chooses it will get as much as it deserves. The speaker appreciates the word inscribed and embarks on a reflection of how the word has many men who are not worth the honor they receive, and how there are even humble men who are more deserving than they seem to be. This 1 and 2 I have given you. See next two lines. Why then to thee, thou silver treasure house, tell me once more what title thou dost bear. Why then to thee? Now he is talking about this, Prince of Aragon is talking about the silver casket and is saying that tell me what title thou dost bear, what is written, what is inscribed on you, silver casket, just tell me what is written on you. So the question is that what title does the silver casket bear? The title which it bears, this you have to learn. Okay, this you have to learn, that one who chooses it will get as much he deserves. This was written on the silver casket. This was inscribed on the silver casket. What response does it evoke? So the the speaker is appreciating the words, means he is praising, yes, yes, correct. Whosoever, whatever the words were inscribed, that were correctly written. And it embarks on a reflection, means it is telling that the people sometimes they just get the seat or the office or the position or the post, but they just acquire those things with the corruption, because they are not worth of that. So there are many men, no, the world has many men who are not worth the honor they receive, and how there are even humble men who are more deserving than they seem to be. And these lines also tell that there are humble people, there are some poor people or some downwarded people, those who are more deserving, but they are not getting the post, they are not getting the position, they are not getting the chair. Why? Because they are not doing any corruption, they are humble. Okay, they are very honest and humble, but they seem to be poor, but they are so talented that they should be on the chair of a good rank. Okay, so this response evoke what does it evoke? So it evokes this, that the speaker is thinking that yes, it is written correctly. Why is the speaker disappointed on opening the silver casket? Because the speaker finds the portrait of a blinking idiot in place of one of Portia, and realized that he had chosen the wrong casket. Moreover, he found a scroll that had a note. There was a scroll also in the hands of that blinking idiot, and what the note was saying, it was written on the note that he was a fool who had made an unwise judgment. Okay, there was a list, and it was written on the list that you are foolish, you have not chosen the correct casket, you have made an unwise judgment, means foolish judgment. It was written uh, on the scroll. Okay, the scroll which was there inside the silver casket, and that's why the speaker was disappointed. As soon as he opens the silver casket, what he was thinking, that I am very intelligent and I will choose the correct casket. This is the correct casket and I deserve Portia. It was written there, no, one who chooses it will get as much as he deserves. So he thought that yes, I deserve Portia, and that's why I will open this silver casket. And he was confident that yes, there will be Portia's portrait only. But what he got? He got the blinking idiot portrait. And it was written there that you are a fool. It was written there that he was a fool who had made an unwise judgment. Now, the last one extract. This is the third extract. Thus had the candle sing the moth, oh, these deliberate fools, when they do choose, they have the wisdom by their wit to lose. Who is the speaker? Thus had the candle sing the moth, oh, these deliberate fools. Do you remember anything? Who has said deliberate fools? Who was the speaker? Do you remember? And to whom the speaker is saying, to whom the speaker is addressing, what is the condition? These all things, do you remember? Okay, let's see the question now. Explain the image in the expression, thus had the candle sing the moth. Here the speaker name has not been asked. Who is the speaker? Portia is the speaker. Here Portia compares her suitor to a moth that is attracted to the flame of a candle and goes so close to it that its wings are burned. So Portia is comparing the suitors, those who are coming to win hands of Portia, she is comparing those suitors to an insect, to a moth. The moth that is attracted to the flame of a candle and goes so near to the flame that the wings of moth, the wings of the insects are burned from the fire, from that candle, from the flame of the candle. Her suitors too are so keen to win her that they decide to take the risk of choosing the casket and fail in process. So according to Portia, she is telling that my suitors, they are also just like these moths. They are so keen, they are so curious. No, they are so much interested to win my hand that they take this decision. They just risk to choose the casket, but they all fail in process. They have not only to return, but they have to remain bachelor also. Question number B. What prompts Portia to make the above remarks? The Prince of Aragon had chosen the wrong casket and was extremely upset when he remarked that he would keep his oath, however, and patiently endure his own wretchedness. Now, Portia is what prompts means why Portia speaks in this way, because Prince of Aragon, he had chosen silver casket and silver casket was incorrect. Okay, so Prince of Aragon had chosen the wrong casket, and Prince of Aragon was extremely upset when he remarked that he would keep his oath, however, and patiently endures means Prince of Aragon is just blaming to himself. When Portia saw this, that Prince of Aragon is blaming to himself his own wretchedness, so she feels somewhat guilty and says in this way that they are just like moth. Okay. Soon after he exited, contemplating on his words, Portia made the above remark. When there is exit means when he leaves, Prince of Aragon, when he exit means when he leaves the room, okay, where the three caskets were kept there. So as soon as he leaves the room, contemplating on his words means he is just telling that yes, I will keep my oath, I will all the three oaths which I have taken, which I have observed, I will keep that. So after listening those words, Portia made the above remarks. Okay, she says that they are just like deliberate fools. Clear? Last one, question number C and D. Why does Portia feel that her suitor has behaved foolishly? Portia felt that her suitor had reasoned too elaborately and his prolonged deliberation had caused him to make an unwise choice. Reason cannot help people to make a right choice in matters of the heart of love. Okay. So Portia is feeling that suitor, those who are coming, they are behaving foolishly because it is a matter of love. Okay, it is a matter of the heart of love, but they are taking the decision from the mind. It means that they are foolish. So she feels that the suitor had reasoned too elaborately. Elaborately means they are just stretching whatever is written on the casket, whatever is inscribed on the casket, they are elaborating it so widely. They are just thinking, they are pondering over it. They are taking too much time. Okay, and that's why it has caused him, it has caused them to make an unwise choice. And this is the reason that they are thinking too much, and this is the reason they are not able to choose the correct casket. According to Portia, if uh, there is the matter of the heart of love, so reason cannot help people to make a right choice. We should not use our brain, according to Portia. And that's why she feels that suitor, they are behaving foolishly. They are thinking from their mind before choosing the casket, and they are taking too much time. They are elaborating whatever is written there on whatever was inscribed on the casket. Okay, so that is their prolonged deliberation. Prolonged, too much delay they are doing. and that's why they are unable to make a wise choice. Last question. What response does Portia's remark elicit from Nerissa? Nerissa agreed with Portia that her deliberating suitors were indeed fools, and the ancient saying hanging and wiving goes by destiny is no lie. So here this Portia, after listening to Portia, Nerissa is also responding. Nerissa is made servant of Portia. So Portia is also getting agree that yes, your suitors are fool. So she agreed with Portia that her deliberating suitors, mean those deliberate fools, were indeed fools, and the ancient saying, this ancient proverb, ये पुरानी जो कहावत है, hanging and wiving goes by destiny is not incorrect. It is not, it is no lie means it is not false. It is correct that our death and our marriage, it all, these both things is just a matter of our destiny, matter of fate. Due to our good luck or our bad luck, we just get these two things. Hanging means death, wiving means here good wife. Okay. Now that was the end of chapter today, children, and I have just made too many uh, parts of the same chapter, Merchant of Venice. I have explained you also, have given you question answer also in detail. There should not be any doubt. I hope you have understood the chapter and the question answers well. Please go through it and try to write the answers without seeing. Okay, children, goodbye. Take care.